Hi, I'm Lexi, and you're listening to Luck It with Lexi. My podcast focuses on people who are doing extraordinary things. Today, my guest is John Kurowski.
What's up? What's up? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. John just finished his first season playing football at Kalamazoo College as a wide receiver. I met John because we ran cross country together in high school. So let's start talking about your football season. Did you have fun?
I did. It was a big, fun experience. I'm happy that I get to do it for 3 more years, and I'm happy I'm there. So, yeah, it was great.
What were some of your favorite things about being on the team?
Some of the relationships that I have, I think college relationships and high school friend relationships are different, and I got to experience that. And being on the football team, I automatically get 100 friends, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So it was tough at first, just learning everybody's names. Like, I'm 2 weeks in, and there's a guy I'm around all the time, and I don't know his name, so I'm I'm trying to avoid it, whatever. But I got over that. So, no, having 100 friends is pretty great. So being around the guys, doing the team bonding experiences, and we hang out outside of practice all the time, and especially the older guys, being around the older guys is nice because they've done this. We had a 5th-year senior this year, so it was his 5th football season. So they know how to guide us and to give us advice and whatever. So being around, the older guys and then experiencing it with the people that have never done it before was awesome.
Definitely.
So, I'm happy I got to do it.
I saw you were player of the week in some games. Explain how that happens.
All right, so I was scout team player of the week. I think I got it 3 times. So that's basically, it goes to the most outstanding person for scout team that week, and I play wide receiver. So I had 2 good weeks at wide receiver, and then later in the year we actually had some defensive injuries. So I had to play corner and safety. Yeah, so I get to play both ways a little bit this year. So one of the weeks it was because I switched to defense for a week. Yeah, and I think I recorded 1 tackle in the 2 snaps that I played in the game. But so I got scout team player of the week from doing good on the scout team. So,
that's awesome. Yeah. Walk us through kind of a day in your college life with workouts, classes.
All right, so camp, we got there on August 13th. Camp is scheduled from 7 in the morning to 8 at night. We wake up for breakfast, we have team meetings, we do a walkthrough, we do practice, and then they put us through a lot of courses outside of football kind of stuff, so business-related or networking-related courses that the younger guys have to do. We'll have those, and we'll have a team activity at night and dinner. And so that's camp, and that's about 2 weeks, so from 7 in the morning to 8 at night. And then my normal day during the week with classes, on a day where I had class, I had an 8:15 class, I had 11:30 class, and I had a 2 o'clock class, and then practice starts at 4:45, and I get out of there at about 7:15ish. We go at dinner, and then I had to go to the math center because I had calc this year. Long days.
Yeah.
Very rewarding.
I bet.
Yeah.
Was it hard juggling everything?
At first was, especially during camp, just because of the amount of stuff I had to learn in the period of time I was given. And then when classes started, I had a little more free time, but I still had 3 classes on the days I had class, and then I had 3-hour practice with a meeting. Especially on Tuesday and Thursdays, we had 6 a.m. lift, so I had to get up at 5. Yeah. So at first once I got into it, it got easier. And then just thinking about the older guys, if you guys can do this for 4 years, I can too. So getting over the hump of getting used to it was hard, but once I got into it, it became a routine.
Talk about your preseason workouts in the summer. What kind of stuff did you do, and how was it different from high school?
Yeah, so they sent us a lifting and an agility thing that I think we had to do every day. So lots of different lifts that I've never done before. Being in the Zen Fitness Center in Alpena and doing random lifts, and I look kind of silly, and it's kind of embarrassing to do around people. But it's we have athletic trainers, and they know what they're talking about, and I'm not going to say I'm the smartest person, but they know what they're talking about. So they'd send us a lift every day, and then we had a lot of running conditioning, because our conditioning test during camp, it's 25 yards down and back, you get a minute rest, and then you do that 20 times. So it's a 50-yard sprint with a minute rest, and you have to do it 20 times. And I think for me, I had to do it in under 8 seconds 20 times in a row. That was the skills. I think corners, receivers, and I think running backs had to do that in 8 seconds or less, 20 times in a row. So that was not fun.
That does sound fun.
Yeah, and if you didn't pass it, you'd wake up at 5 a.m. the next day, and you'd keep doing it until you passed it.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's good to pass it
Yeah.
the first time. Yeah. So, no, but I felt prepared going into the season,
Yeah.
especially coming off of track season. So I felt like I was in pretty good shape. But, yeah, it definitely pushes me to my limit. So,
Yeah.
it's nice.
You enjoying Kalamazoo in general?
Yeah. There's a lot more food places there. They have Panda Express, which is nice.
Not the big burrito yet. He hasn't.
I
tried
have
it.
to do that. Yeah, I've been told. No, but they're right by campus, and they do on Tuesdays. They do it's called Tendy Tuesday, and it's $3 chicken tender baskets. Yeah, so it's pretty sweet. And yeah, I mean, I've gotten to do a whole lot of stuff that I can't do here because smaller town. So yeah, no, I've acclimated pretty well, I would say.
That's good. You have a team nickname.
So a lot of the people can't pronounce Kurowski, which I don't understand because I get Kowalski and Kurkowski a lot. There's no third K and there's no L, so I don't know where to get that. So my special teams coach, he just calls me JK, and then I have a few other guys that call me Special K. So like the cereal. So I got a couple.
Let's talk about how you got to the point of being a college athlete. Where did football kind of start for you? How old were you?
I started playing, I think, kindergarten. We used to live in Midland, so they had at Northwood, they have a flag football league in the winter for the kids. So they have an indoor turf facility, and you can go in there, and they have, like, it's basically like flag football tournaments. I started with that, and then we moved here and started playing Jets in 4th grade, and my dad was my coach. And naturally, I wasn't very coordinated, so I was a blocking tight end for a long time. Then I had to work in my coordination a lot. And if you ask any of my high school teammates that I grew up with, they know, like, I still get made fun of that I can't catch. I'm a receiver in college. I can catch.
I think he can catch guys.
Yeah, so I still get jokes, and a lot of the time, I'll catch, 19 balls out of 20, but I dropped the one and I can't catch. So, but no, it started when I was really little, and then I evolved to Jets. I got to high school and I knew I wanted to pursue it more because I only get to play this game so long.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did all the visits that I could, and I landed on Kalamazoo. So
Yeah. You said your dad coached you. How involved were your parents? Like, did he coach you in the future too?
Yeah, extremely. So he is someone I credit with, making this happen. He drove me to camps. He, invested so much of his own personal time in it. He would take me to the field and, throw balls at me. And he's the one that pushed me a lot. He was also the one that was real with me. Like, when I couldn't catch, he's like, you're so concerned about, being on a college team. You got to start in high school first.
Yeah.
That was a big thing I always remember where, that was real. So he's always been real with me, but he's also always invested so much time. My mom has too. She's driven me to camps. She's bought me cleats. She's, learned football when she doesn't really like football. So no, I credit them so much with, my development and allowing me to be where I am today.
Yeah,
So.
that's awesome. Our team kind of struggled in high school. What did that teach you?
Yeah, so I think in my varsity career, I won one game.
Yeah, and I think it was.
It was against so it was our first game of my senior year because my junior year, we beat Marquette, and it was like a close game too. I was hurt. I had a broken foot. I broke my foot against Heritage the game before, so I couldn't. I was just I was the water boy that game. So in my playing varsity career, I've only won one game, which is crazy because I'm on a team with my friend Drew went to Forest Hill Central. They won the state championship last year. They beat Gaylord in the semifinals, and they won the state championship. So, and then I have a lot of Chelsea guys that they won state championship 2 years ago or whatever. So, no, it taught me, I would say, all the virtues that, like the Bible mentions or whatever, like patience and perseverance and like all of those, like especially being hurt. I had a strand of foot injuries. I broke my left one, then my right one, then my left one. And then when I came back my junior year, I missed 6 weeks. I came back, I was playing on a broken foot, and then I had surgery right after the year. So it was definitely tough. It made me learn to love the game. This is one of those games. Like it's. I think, granted, any athlete is going to say their sport's the hardest sport. Like I'm sure, if you ask LeBron James, he's going to say basketball's the hardest sport.
Yeah.
Like football, in my opinion, is the hardest sport because the amount of time that goes into it. You have to lift every day. You have to take care of your body. You have to eat right. And then you have to know the plays. You have to learn the playbook. Like it's like you have to learn a whole different language in the playbook. And then you have to be able to go out there and do it. And beat the guy across from you. So it taught me hard work. It taught me to stay focused. And Yeah, no, winning one game, and I'm sure you told me freshman year, like, yeah, you're only going to win one game in your career. Do you want
Yeah.
to come out and play? Like, any normal person would say no. But I had to learn to love the game. It's like, I'm going to have fun. I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to go out there, and I'm going to play the game that I love. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think I was at that one game.
Yeah, it was awesome. We were up 28-0 at halftime, and we won, like, by a field goal, or it was like
Yeah.
35-30. I don't know. They scored, like, 4 touchdowns in the third. That first half, we were up 28-0, and I'm like, shoot, we're going to win the state championship. Like, we are a good football team. And then the second half happened. And it's like, I don't know about this. So, yeah. But
You did a lot of training on your own throughout high school. Kind of tell us about that.
so another thing about Alpena, we never had, like, a strength and conditioning coach like a lot of the other high schools had. So it was up to all the guys to, stay conditioned and, do all that stuff on their own, which was... It's tough to do when you don't have guidance. Mm-hmm. So I had to learn a lot on my own, and I had to, like whether it was buying a gym membership because the high school gym wasn't open, or looking stuff up online and Googling it and learning how like lactic acid works and rest and recovery and certain lifts do certain things and stuff. I had to learn all that stuff on my own. So it was definitely tough training on my own when I knew so little. But that's why I'm hoping soon though. High school could get that, so we can, start kids young and develop them.
Definitely. Do you feel prepared to play at a college level, or was it quite a bit harder?
It was definitely harder. I remember being on scout team this year and having to block a senior linebacker. And I think during the season, I was 160 pounds. I'm more now because I'm trying to get heavier so I can block senior linebackers. But it's definitely... very hard. We had 2 senior linebackers this year that I just could not block for the life of me. And last year, like I kind of take pride in blocking because it's half my job is like the other half is catching the ball and running, but the other half is blocking for a running back or whatever, and lining up against my friend who's senior who's been there for 4 years, and I'm trying to block him. And he's like a slippery bullet slides right off me and makes me look bad. It was definitely harder than high school. You don't get the kids that aren't going to play. Like, these are all developed athletes that, are there because they love it. So it was definitely harder, I think.
Yeah. How about academically? Did you, feel prepared for your classes and everything?
I would say I wish I would have taken harder classes in high school to prepare me for this. I never took any AP classes. I took classes at ACC, and I think those helped me with the college schedule and, what it takes. But at Kalamazoo, we're in 10-week trimesters that are accelerated, so we only have 3 classes, but it's a semester in 10 weeks, which I didn't believe on my visit there. I'm like, yeah, there's no way. You guys are exaggerating how hard this is. No, it was really hard. So, jumping into calc or jumping into, I think I had calc, a history class, and then a class about Stalin this year. It was my first year seminar, so we talked about Stalin in Soviet art in that time period. So it was really interesting, but a lot, like sitting in that class, a lot of those kids knew a lot about Stalin. I did not know much about Stalin already. So yeah, I would say I was a little behind the 8 ball on that. So I think myself and my work ethic, I was ready to do it, but a lot of other people had more experience than I did.
Yeah. John also ran cross country and track in high school. He dual sported cross country and football, and you would go to football practice. Did you do any running outside of football practice?
It was very rare. I did in the summer a lot because the trail that we run on is right by my house. So
Yeah.
I did in the summer quite a bit actually, but once football started, like I was so tired after practice, especially after going to school and then going to practice, and then it's like 6 by the time I get home.
I was thinking.
I was looking at the treadmill and I was thinking about it, and I'm like, I'm good.
Like,
So,
I would skip it too.
it was. I did a couple times, like twice.
Yeah.
Twice that I remember, but yeah, it was the fact that I know how many times I did it is probably bad. So. Yeah.
Hey, but John, if he didn't do that and he still would get in top 5,
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
It was nice. There was one meet in Petoskey, and this will live with me forever, and I'm mad about it. My watch. I'm notorious for looking at my watch too much in my when I run, and it was in track and cross I did this, but I'm running down a hill in Petoskey. It's uphill the entire time.
Yeah,
it's horrible.
And then at the end, it's just like...
And at the end, it's a downhill to like a runway, like the final stretch. And I'm going down the hill, and my watch told me I hit 3.1. So I thought I won, and I stopped. I kind of slowed down, and once you slow down during a cross, you can't speed back
Yeah,
up. Like
because your legs are
you
like.
can kind of, but it's like the lactic acid or however that works sets in. Or I'm not a scientist, so I don't know how that works, but you can't speed back up. So I slowed down, and then people start yelling at me like, John, the finish line is that way. So I tried to sprint. So I got second. I got second that meet, and then I threw up everywhere. So.
Was that the one with the eggs?
That was the one with the eggs. I woke up, so the night before, it was a horrible weekend. The night before, Friday night, we played Petoskey at Petoskey. And we had a weather delay. The game was supposed to start at 7. We didn't start till like 9:30 or something because it was raining. And then they were saying, oh, we're going to cancel the game. And our coach, Coach Mitchell, he's like, yeah, no, we're not. Like, he's the kind of guy, like, we're here, we're going to play no matter what. We'll wait until, 11 p.m. if we have to. So the game didn't get done until 11 p.m., 11:30-ish. It was a long game. And we didn't win. It was, per usual. I think that was my worst high school game ever, playing on defense. I did not play very well coverage-wise that game. And then I drove to my grandparents' house, who lived like an hour away or whatever. And then we drove back at 8 in the morning and had to run a 5K. So my grandparents, they were nice, and they made me eggs that morning. Like, I'm not going to tell my grandparents no. Like, I'm a nice guy. Like, that'd be rude. They took their time out of their day. They woke up to me in breakfast. I'm not going to say no. I'm not going to eat it. So I ate it was like 3 eggs or whatever, and 2 hours later I ran a 5K, and the eggs came back out. And that was it was a fun weekend. I had pancakes right after too, so that was good.
And cross country meets, they're always at like 8 in the morning. Like,
it's like nobody wants to run that early unless you really, really like running. It's it's like 8 in the morning. I
don't think anyone likes running that much. Maybe. John also gave it everything he got after every meet, and this was him after most meets. If you notice, he doesn't have his shoes on because he would yell at me to take his shoes off.
Yeah, so going back to my foot injuries, my feet, I've screwed my left foot, and when I'm standing for too long or running for too long or doing whatever, I can feel the screw in it. Yeah, no, it's not fun. So it doesn't hurt very much, but like after time, it's like, okay, this is annoying. Like, let me lay down, and I need to take my shoes off. So like at home, I'm always wearing Birkenstocks or something or slides. So that was the Northern Michigan meet. That was after the game. I thought we were going to win state championship for football. It was 2 days after my only win on varsity. The next day, that was like the only practice I ever went in the season because we played on a Thursday, practiced Friday, and we left Friday, and then we ran Saturday morning. So, I was at Northern Michigan, and that was my first, like, real 5K, I would say. And I get to the mile mark, and Coach Joe is always, like, he moves around the course to tell you your splits, and, good guy. Coach Joe yells at, I think he said 4:56 was my first mile split. And I'm like, this is gonna be bad. I ran too fast. I led the race for a long time, and then it was probably 2.5 miles, and I just could not move my leg. Like I ran like a 4:56 split, and then the next one was like a 5:20 or like it went up by a lot. So, but that meet I ran so hard. I was so dizzy I couldn't stand. I think that was when I said I couldn't see.
Yeah, he'd be like, I can't see. I'm like, John, your eyes are closed. He's like, no, they're not.
Yeah, they were close.
They were definitely
close. I was so out of it after running 5Ks, but that's kind of that's the cross experience.
If you're not crying after your meet, you didn't run hard.
It takes a very special person to fall in love with that sport. So I commend anyone that can do that. We listen and we don't judge.
We listen and we don't judge. I did. Okay, so you also had offers for track and cross country. What made you choose football?
So I was very close to going to Northwood, actually. So they wanted me for cross and track, and I didn't have any football. I think they offered me in November, and I didn't have any football offers yet. And we moved to Alpena from Midland. So that would have been cool. I would have been around both my grandparents, which would have been awesome. And then a lot of friends that I still know are still in Midland, and some of them go to Northwood. So I had connections there, and I was very close to doing that. But I was, I didn't love the sport like I love football, and I didn't want to do something I didn't love and take a spot away from someone who would be loving it. Coaches down there, they took me on a visit. Very nice. One of my Julian Stevens, he ran track last year. He's one of my best friends. He's running there right now, and he's going through knee injuries and stuff, but he loves it down there. Redoobie plays volleyball there, so we would have gone there, the three of us together. I was very close to doing that, but I wanted to like not only what sport I was playing in college, but just my college experience in general.
Yeah.
And I don't think I would have if I was running cross. So I ended up doing all the football visits I could, and then I landed in Kalamazoo. So it worked out well, and I'm happy where I'm at now.
Is there anyone that like inspired you to choose football?
I would say after my junior year, I didn't know if I wanted to play because my foot injury, and I played on a broken foot for 6 weeks, and that's not fun for anyone. So I didn't know that I wanted to play, and going into my senior season, I'm like, okay, we'll see how this season goes, and then whatever. And the high school teammates, kids I grew up with, they made that was the most fun I ever had. We were 1-8, and I had never had more fun playing that game. And so I would say my team my senior year kind of brought me back into it and be like, I want to do this 4 more years. So.
Yeah. Is your favorite football player in the pros?
Amon-Ra St. Brown. I like all the Lions receivers, Tim Patrick and Jameson Williams, and like every single Lion that's on the team. But Amon-Ra St. Brown, I like the way that he plays the game. I like the grit that he has, what goes into his training, and I like his story too. So everything about it, I like Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Yeah. How about your favorite college football player?
Current or all time?
We'll do both.
Okay, so current. Travis Hunter was really fun to watch this year. I think Ashton Genty should have won the Heisman, but Travis Hunter, he's like one of one. He's an awesome guy to watch. I would say all time. I really liked Ronnie Bell when he was at Michigan. I really liked Donovan Peoples-Jones. Howard Robinson at Michigan. He was big growing up. He was on the NCAA 14 cover. Johnny Manziel was also good. Marcus Mariota. All those the nostalgic 2010 guys I love. And then I got hated on this at college. It was like the first week actually. So my roommate, big Michigan guy, like he was close to going to Michigan, then he chose to play football. And I told him, I'm pro Michigan. I love Michigan. I want them to beat Michigan State, but I am also pro the state of Michigan. So I don't hate if Michigan State is good. So you know what? Like if Michigan had to lose a game, I'd want them. It'd be Michigan State, just because I'm pro the state of Michigan. So I love Michigan. I want Michigan to beat Michigan State every year, but I'm not a hater on Michigan State. It's a rival and their little brother, and that. But at the end of the day, I just hope everyone unites against Ohio State. So, yeah. So that's Le'Veon Bell growing up. I think they played. I forget what year it was, but Le'Veon Bell hurdled like 2 Boise State players in like the same play. And that's when I'm like, okay, I like this guy. Just the way that, and in the NFL, I liked him too when he was with the Steelers. So yeah, all those guys I loved.
What's your favorite football team in the pros?
The Lions.
Yeah, they're having a good year this year.
That's the only, I get mad at my roommate too, because he growing up, the Lions were like, they had their 9-7 seasons or whatever, but they were never. I think they made the playoff 3 times, and they didn't win a single game my entire childhood. And I endured it. I loved them. Like, didn't matter if they were like 3-13 or 9-7. Like, I enjoyed watching the Lions.
Yeah.
My roommate, he took the alternate approach of, I'm just gonna like a new team. So he's a Patriot. He's a Patriots fan, and so that's a struggle that I have with him, where I'm like, how can you be?
Yeah.
And it was because of Tom Brady. Tom Brady went to Michigan, like whatever. But like. No, you can't. It's you got to pick the Lions. So,
yeah, you have to.
Lions.
What about your favorite college team?
Michigan. I ended up actually. I'm really into the MAC a lot. So my parents went to Central, and Western's right across the street from us. So I actually got to go to a Western game this year, and I got really into that actually, which is very surprising because not many people are.
Yeah.
So watching the Tuesday or Thursday games and stuff. So I like Western and Central, too, a lot, just because Western's right there, and then Central, my parents went there. So I've always liked them, too. But Michigan's my favorite team.
Michigan on top.
Yep.
We're going to do some fun questions. What's your guilty pleasure food?
Guilty pleasure food. So this started, like, I guess since I've gotten to college, but they have ice cream at the calf. And we'd get done with, like, a 95-degree practice, and it's like 101 degrees on the turf field, and it's hot, and once ice cream became available at the calf, I started to like eat it a little too much. I think it was too often. So at Kalamazoo, we do this older brother program where it's called a big brother, but basically each freshman gets assigned an older guy, and he basically shows them the ropes and like how to do this, how to do that. And you bond and do activities and whatever. And mine was, his name's Zach, And on my overnight visit, before I even committed, I stayed with him and his group. Joke is that he eats ice cream with everything, which it's funny because when I stayed with him, he had ice cream like 3 times in the span of a day and a half when I was with him.
God.
So he eats ice. So like he's kind of like gotten me into that a little bit. Yeah. So
ice cream.
So yeah, I would say ice cream.
What about your favorite TV show?
Favorite TV show? I like Breaking Bad. I like super long show. I loved The Walking Dead. Super long, and once Rick left, it kind of got bad. But
Yeah.
The Walking Dead. I just finished How I Met Your Mother. Have you watched that?
I think my sister has.
Okay, horrible ending. The ending is
okay.
horrible. Great show.
Wait, I think she was talking about this
yeah,
the other
the
day.
ending is the worst thing ever. I'm not gonna like spoil it or anything, but like the writers like need to be fired because that was horrible. Show is one of the best shows I've watched. The ending is horrible, and then I like The Office too. So, yeah, How I Met Your Mother is great, but I will never get over the ending. My friend actually, I was on the way to Torch Lake this summer, and we are gonna go to a boat day, and I told my friend I was watching who had finished it, and he's like, "Yeah, do you want me to tell you the ending?" I'm like, "No," and then he told me it, and I'm like, "You made that up. There's no way. There's no way people are being paid however much money, and that's what they wrote. Like, there's no way that's the ending. It was the ending." So I kind of knew the ending going in, but I'm like, there's no way that it happened, and it was horrible. So
yeah, I think my sister was complaining about that the other day. Do you have any other hobbies?
I like to walk my dog a lot. My dog's name is Karen. She's an Irish Doodle. She's great. I do normal stuff like going to the movies and playing video games, and we do team basketball a lot at Kalamazoo. So we'll get done with our lift, and then we'll go play basketball as a team. That's super competitive and always fun, so I like doing that. And then so normal stuff, fishing in the summer. Yeah.
I've never been able to fish. We live on a lake, and we could never catch fish. Like, we tried a couple times, and then I just gave up.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, fishing takes patience.
I don't have that. No. So, your favorite holiday?
I think probably Christmas.
Yeah.
I feel like, probably Christmas. I feel like 4th of July, I think it's kind of...
It's kind of underrated.
It's underrated, but I think some people hype it up too much.
Yeah.
Like, it's great. Like, I love going on. So I'd say Christmas and 4th of July are my 2 favorites. So Christmas and 4th of July. And then I'm excited for St. Patrick's Day this year. I've never been excited, but apparently it's fun at college. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Christmas just got over. Do you have any holiday traditions you and your family do?
So my dad's side of the family, the Kurowskis, we do family Christmas. And we haven't gone the past couple of years, but we went this year. So it's the Polish side, so we get down there and we have pierogi and bigos and all the good Polish stuff. So that was fun, and you get to see a lot of people that don't live in Michigan or live out of state, and everyone comes. Doing that was really nice this year. So yeah.
Lastly, what advice would you give someone trying to reach their goals?
Be patient. That was a big thing for me. I struggled. I remember growing up, like I'm not naturally like. I'm not hating my parents, but DNA wise, I'm not 6'5", or I'm not, like it was always harder for me, especially not being naturally talented at hand-eye coordination or size or anything. So even speed, like I still don't I know I can be fast. Like speed wise, I always consider myself slow because I see guys that are faster.
Yeah.
Now that came back to the track thing. Like I ran a 4:32 mile in high school, and people tell me that's fast, and it's like see some of the other guys, that's not fast like compared to some guys. But that goes back. So I would say be patient and be determined, because it took me a lot of work to be able to, be where I'm at today, and to stay where I'm at. As people kind of, Kalamazoo College is Division III, but I think if you look at it from a certain perspective, it's harder than Division I, because Division I players, they have tutors, so a lot of the time they don't even go to class, and people do their homework, and they're getting paid millions of dollars to do it. I'm doing this. I have to do, keep my grades up, go to every class, because they keep attendance, and we get in trouble if we skip class. And then I'm not getting paid anything to do it. So I have to find time to go to class, go to practice, do all the football stuff, get a job, and maintain all of that. And then whatever personal stuff I got going on, I don't want to say it's harder, but if you look at it from my point of view, I think it could be considered as hard, at least. So, people just have patience and be determined and stay with it.
Definitely. So, Thank you for being here, John. And if you know anyone in your community who's doing extraordinary things, DM us at L.U.C. Unlimited Apparel. Thanks for listening to Lock It with Lexi.